This is the Vietnam War era display case. Well, there are a few other displays, but let's just start off with this one. This is the iconic M16, most used by the American forces during the entire Vietnam War. AK-47 rifle used mainly by the Soviets and Viet Cong. Fun fact about the AK-47 is that sometimes you could, since they were so common throughout the Vietnam War, you could, the Americans would sometimes find them and capture them and pick them up and use them as their own instead of using the main M16. I mean, you could find these everywhere throughout the Vietnam War. And then this is the M14. It's an evolution of the M1 Garand. This has a sniper rifle scope, which means it was used for sniping. And then that is a grenade bandolier used for storing grenades. Yeah, the AK-47 was used by the Vietnamese forces. Ugh. And then this is the Chinese Type 56 SKS. This is really cool because it looks like a magazine-fed rifle, but it isn't. What you would do is that you would pull the slide back, and then it's a clip-fed rifle. And then you would load it in, and then you could fire it. And then all of them were attached with bayonets, and you could fold it down or up, and then you could. And then sometimes the North Vietnamese forces would do bayonet charges with these things, and sometimes do some effect on the enemy forces. They were pretty common as well, like the AK-47. So they were really common weapons throughout the Vietnam War. And then this is a other Chinese SKS donated by Stephen Milburn. It says inscription, "Kill Americans." So some Vietnamese soldier must have written that on to the rifle as probably a reminder to himself or other people, maybe. And then this is a North Vietnamese bamboo helmet. Mainly the North Vietnamese forces used camouflage in order to get the jump on the Americans and the South Vietnamese, the good guys basically, and they would just basically get them unaware, and they would just surprise them and then kill them, basically ambush. Basically ambush attacks. But then to solve this, the U.S. used this herbicide called Agent Orange to burn down these different forests and trees, so that way they would stop hiding, and so that way the U.S. forces could get them easier and kill them easier, basically. And then this machine gun right here, it's called Carl Gustaf Swedish M45. Pretty rare submachine gun. I don't know too much about it. It's 9mm full automatic. It was actually issued to some special units, I'm assuming Green Berets, which was a special type of U.S. force. And then here are some hand grenades used by Soviet forces. Here's a camera from the Vietnam War era, some boots, some other stuff here. And then you've got some pictures of the time. And, oh, right here is M79 grenade launcher, commonly known as the Thumper. Because of the sound that it made when it was fired. And here is a smoke grenade. Whenever you threw it and pulled the pin, it would send red smoke to signal a helicopter to come and pick up the people on the ground, to signal either where, it had multiple uses, to signal where enemies were, to show your location, but it also had a downside, because if you threw a smoke grenade, enemies would see where your location is, and then they could possibly ambush you while you're waiting for evacuation by helicopter or some other kind of vehicle. And then here's a claymore. Basically, you set it towards somebody, and then it has little red lasers that come out the front. Then when an enemy comes by, like a doorway, it would explode and kill the enemy immediately. Or sometimes it could kill multiple enemies at once. And that is all I have to say about this display. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.